This meeting is being recorded.
Okay, welcome everybody. This is our 30-minute meeting we have with Dr. Wallach every Wednesday here. It is for educational entertainment purposes only, so that you may find joy in living and live the life that you want to live. By the research that Dr. Wallach has done and he's created was called to do on the road or wherever he went. And so we're fortunate ones to be able to know that whether it was at a zoo or an aquarium, many of us already know that he maintained. These were all maintained by his thesis, made into a manual for the care maintenance of all of them. So without further ado, appreciate you, and we'd like to bring you Dr. Joel Wallach.
Well, thank you so much. And of course, everything we do is an endless process. We're always seeing new people. We're spending great time with people who've been with us for a long time, and people are passing on the message, and we're expanding our reach. There's some great things happening. Within a couple of weeks, couple of months, there's going to be some great news happening about what we're doing in the world and so forth. And so I'm very excited about this. And let's see here. We have one testimony. Why don't we start out with your testimony?
Yeah, hi, thank you. So this is a customer of mine in England, and he just wrote me this message today. He says that he's been following your advice. He's delighted to say.
Okay, for what? For what problem?
Well, he has bone spurs, and he's, I don't remember the entire thing, but it has to do with arthritis, joints, and bone spurs.
Okay.
So he's been on the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack, and he said he's been following your advice. He's delighted to say he's going to the gym. His angina is becoming less. His hip is improving, starting to come back. He's walking up the stairs like normal again. And he believes the bone spurs are being removed from the joint. He's staying on the gluten-free diet, and he's been like this for a couple of months now, 2 months, and he's starting to feel normal again. So I figured you might enjoy.
Yeah, thank you. How old this guy is?
I don't know. No, I'm sorry, I don't know.
Okay, but here's an adult, and he has all these problems. I'm sure the doctors, want to do surgery, want to do this, want to do that. And as you give the body the raw materials and stay away from the bad stuff, the body has an enormous capacity to heal itself. So we'll give the good Lord and his body all the credit and so forth. We're just passing on information. And so I just really get excited. I can't thank you enough for referring that information back to us. It just confirms everything we know and believe and see, regardless of race, gender, age, all over the world. Okay, it's really, really exciting. We have, again, these testimonies constantly and all the time. And it's one of those things where you have to appreciate that we're living organisms. Things come and go based on what you eat, what you don't eat, what you drink, what you don't drink, what you do, what you don't do. And if you do everything wrong, you're going to have a short, miserable life. If you do everything right, you're going to have a long, exciting life. It's just that simple. And so it comes down to information. That's why we've written so many books and so forth, and so many CDs and DVDs. We do have some more things coming out in Spanish. Our Spanish groups are growing like crazy. And one of the things we talked about the other day and had a great Spanish translation as we're talking. And so it's one of those things the Spanish translation is already done. And what we were talking about were diseases that were said to be genetic and autoimmune. Doctors saying, well, you got a genetic thing here. We can only treat the symptoms. We can't cure it, sort of thing. You had to learn to live with it, and we can reduce your symptoms, relieve pain, that kind of stuff. Well, my thesis for 20,000 autopsies is in the Smithsonian Institute as a national treasure, because I showed very clearly there are no genetically transmitted diseases. There are no autoimmune diseases. And that thesis, the rights to publish it as a textbook was done by the top textbook publishing company in the world, okay? And they charge $25,000 per book. They sell them to big corporations and hospitals and medical schools and things like that. That's my thesis on those 20,000 autopsies, showing there are no genetically transmitted diseases. They're all just simple nutritional deficiency diseases, okay? Very simple. And obviously the average person can't afford to spend $25,000 for a book. Okay, so we came up with a summary of that book. Okay, and the summary of that book is called Epigenetics, the death of the genetic theory of disease transmission. That's me at the Yerkes Primate Center with a monkey which had cystic fibrosis, thought to be a genetically transmitted birth defect. Okay, and I showed very clearly it's just a simple nutritional deficiency and it's something that can be prevented. And they fired me because they all believed that there was a genetic thing. And who was I? I was just a veterinarian with a degree in agriculture and veterinary medicine. I had done my 20,000 autopsies, but it's one of those things where they didn't care about that. They just believed what they believed. And so they fired me from Yerkes Primate Center. And that's when I went back to school and became a physician up in Portland, Oregon, became a naturopathic physician. Okay. And so, you know, that we found the cause, prevention, and cure for cystic fibrosis, simple nutritional deficiency. Then I was working with Jerry Lewis for several years and Jerry's kids, muscular dystrophy, right? And we were able to find the cause, prevention, cure for muscular dystrophy. And he got so excited that he took, you know, the case records of dozens of kids that we had cured from muscular dystrophy. He took it, this was September of, let's see, 2011. He took these to the annual meeting and telethon of the Muscular Dystrophy Association. Okay, it was September of 2011, and they fired him. They fired Jerry Lewis, put a gag order on him, and canceled the telethon, which was the next day. And he had raised $2.6 billion for them through the telethon over 46 years, and they fired him summarily. And he died a couple of years later, but he knew he had found the cause, prevention, cure of muscular dystrophy. So he's quite excited about that. Then, of course, the third issue is sudden infant death syndrome. Doctors were saying for years and years and years and years that sudden infant death syndrome was caused by mothers laying on the babies and suffocating them. And Jonathan Emord, one of our great attorneys, he and I went to the federal courts. We sued the FDA, Food and Drug Administration, 8 times in federal court. We prevailed in every one of those lawsuits. And we got to put these nutrients into the baby formulas, Enfamil, Similac, and the like. And we eliminated sudden infant death syndrome. Okay, because it was simple nutritional deficiencies. Now you think about that. Dumb farm boy from Missouri gets rid of cystic fibrosis, muscular dystrophy, and sudden infant death syndrome just by putting vitamins and minerals into the baby formulas. And of course, now they're having difficulty because they can't get all the raw materials for the baby formula. So we came out with our baby formula, Kids Toddy. You do have to add our liquid minerals to it. You do have to add our EFAs to it, so you get the essential fatty acids. And we can eliminate all these baby diseases. They believe falsely, of course, but they believe falsely that they're genetic diseases and autoimmune diseases. There's no such things. There are none, zero, zippo. You can't find me a genetically transmitted disease. They just said that because they didn't want to say, I don't know. So they said, oh, you have 3 of those, you have 3 people in your family and with a history of this, must be genetic. And so we call that crapola science. And that's what the medical system's been involved with since they began. Okay. And so every time they didn't know something, they blamed it on the patient. Okay. But instead of saying, you know, I don't know, let me look around, see if I can find somebody who's doing something with it. But at any rate, we're excited because we have more coming along. We have more and more and more testimonies, more and more diseases going away. And one of my newest books, there's 3 new books. We have a new educational brochure coming out in the next couple of weeks. Okay. And these educational brochures, we have all my books, little summary on each book, tells you what's in them. There we go. And there's 23, I think, best-selling books, 100 CDs, 25 DVDs, and so forth. All these are in this educational brochure. And we also have the Wallach Revolution. This is a 75-year track record, 75-year track record, okay, that shows my major discoveries, including those birth defects that they believe were genetic, okay? And so this is unimpeachable information. And so it's one of those things where we can help people. we're doing things scientifically, and we have some big stories coming along here, which I say in a couple of weeks, it's going to blow everybody's mind. We also have another Spanish thing coming along. We did a Spanish translation a couple of days ago with Angelica, and it was being translated as we went along. So we don't have to, spend a lot of money to go to a translator and have it translated and all this kind of stuff. It's already was done as we were doing the presentation. And it covers this concept of genetics and autoimmune. It's a beautiful thing. And so we want everybody to know there are no genetically transmitted diseases. There are no autoimmune disease. I don't care what your doctor says, there are none. Okay, when he says, oh, it's a genetic disease, that translates into English, I don't know, so I'm going to blame you for it. Okay, so with that said, let's see here, looking at my time, I got a few more minutes in my little part here, and remind everybody, we also have the book, It's All in Your Head. There's 37 different diseases you can have when you have osteoporosis of the skull. And this is a book and a CD set, okay? It's called It's All in Your Head. And one of my favorite pictures of all the thousands of pictures we've taken over the years is this one. The top picture, both of these are at autopsy, two different people. The skull top was taken off, looking down on the brain. And you see the skull is only 1/4 of an inch thick. That's normal. The bottom one, the top of the skull is removed, looking down on the brain, but you can see that the skull is 1.5 inches to 2 inches thick. And that's not bone, that's cartilage and connective tissue trying to replace the bone that's not there anymore. And when this stuff squeezes, the 12 pairs of cranial nerves, 12 cranial nerves come out this side, 12 cranial nerves come out that side, the spinal cord comes out of the back of the skull, spinal cord is formed in the brain, comes out of the back of the skull. You get all these different diseases, 37 different diseases. The doctors will send you to different specialists for each one of those diseases, and he will tell you they're genetic, and you have to pay an enormous amount of money for treating each one of those. And in many cases, they can't reverse it because it's a problem here, okay? But they can relieve some symptoms with some of their pharmaceuticals to relieve symptoms, but then 2 or 3 years later, you'll die because they haven't dealt with the disease, okay? So this is a good investment. Page 25, it tells you exactly what to do nutritionally, okay? And for that, I got the Lifetime Achievement Award of the United Nations. This is at the United Nations office in New York City, where I received the Lifetime Achievement Award from the United Nations for these discoveries, okay? So this is not, what should I say, this isn't stupid stuff, okay? This isn't stuff we've made up. This is actual science, okay? So we can't thank the good Lord enough why the good Lord chose us to understand this and be the ones that come out with it. We don't know why we were chosen, but we are proud, and we are going to give the good Lord the best we can do, and that way he knows he chose correctly. With all that said, over to Dave and Pam.
Thank you, Dr. Wallach. We appreciate you. There was a question earlier. I think it has something to do with type 2 diabetes. I think it was type 2.
Okay, well, type 2 diabetes is very simple. It's a very simple nutritional deficiency. We have what we call the healthy blood sugar pack, which is our healthy start pack, which has the 90 essential nutrients in it. Plus it has the sweeties added to it. And then per 100 pounds of body weight per day, you want to take one of those healthy blood sugar packs. If you weigh 150 pounds, I get 2 healthy blood sugar packs. And don't cold turkey off your medication, but as your blood sugar begins to drop, you can slowly reduce your medication based on the numbers. And then people always ask me, well, how long do I have to stay on the healthy blood sugar pack when my blood sugar is normal now? Forever. Okay, how long do you put oil in your car? Well, forever. How long do you put brake fluid in your car? Forever. How long do you put antifreeze in your car? Forever. Okay, you have to keep taking this forever. Otherwise, within 6 months, you'll be back down in the hole again, and then you'll run around saying it didn't work for you. It worked for you, but you have to take it all the time. It's not something you just take until the problem goes away, and then you quit taking it. Okay, it's kind of like when you're unconscious and they give you oxygen, you wake up. What if they took away your oxygen? Well, then you're going to go back into a coma, maybe even die. Okay, so you need these nutrients forever. It's one of those things, you take them forever. I've been doing this for 75 years. It's one of those things where I'm weigh 142 pounds right now. In 5 weeks' time, I'll be 84 years old. And most people think I'm in my 50s. Okay, when they look at me, they can't believe I'm 84 years old. I've only been on prescription drugs for 3 days when I had an infection falling in a construction site up in Canada. Got impaled with a rebar. So they gave me IV antibiotics. That's it. And my whole life, that's the only time I've ever been on prescription medication. I'm 84 years old. Okay. I don't have arthritis. I don't have diabetes. I don't have high blood pressure. I don't have Alzheimer's disease. I don't have hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, heart disease. I don't have liver cirrhosis. I don't have psoriasis. I don't have irritable bowel syndrome. I don't have Crohn's disease. I don't have any of that stuff. Okay, because I take the 90 essential nutrients. I take all the secret sauces. Okay, and I have to pay for them. I don't get them for free. I pay for them just like everybody else. And so it's one of those things, you become one of our members, you pay wholesale for the products and you get an auto ship. I will pay the shipping for you. You'll save a lot of money there on the shipping. And when you retire or die, guess what? The business you build with Youngevity goes to your family or your church or whoever you want to give it to. Leave it in your will to somebody. If you work for a big multi-billion-dollar corporation, work for them for 20, 25 years, you make millions of dollars for them and you die, retire. Does your family get that job that you had there for 20 years? No. So I don't say quit that job, but at least one evening a month or one evening a week or one weekend a month or something, work on the Youngevity business and build an organization, and it'll be a benefit to your family, both health-wise and financially. Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Wallach. Laura, you have your hand raised.
Hi, yeah, sorry. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, very good. So quick question. My mother is in a temporary nursing home. She's in Italy, so things are a little different there, slightly different. She was told that based on her recent blood tests, her good cholesterol is really low. And the doctor, who clearly doesn't understand nutrition, told her to stop taking her omega-3. What do I tell my mom to tell her doctor?
Tell him she's going to find another doctor.
Okay, she's not confrontational. So
you don't have to be confrontational. Just say, I'm sorry, but I'm going to find another doctor because I'm not going to argue with you. But I like my cholesterol where it's at. And of course, we do have the I-26 chewables. We have the pills. We have the powder. You have to appreciate the 25% of your brain weight, 25% of your spinal cord weight is myelin. Have you ever heard of myelin?
Yeah.
When you get demyelinization, when the myelin goes away, you get short circuiting of your electrical impulses, you get Alzheimer's disease, you get MS, you get Parkinson's disease, you get lupus, you get all this stuff, okay? Well, it turns out, this freaks everybody out. Well, it turns out that myelin, the white matter of the brain, is 100% cholesterol. Makes up 25% of your brain weight, makes up 25% of your spinal cord weight. And so anybody who says cut your cholesterol should go to jail.
I know. I know. I'm just trying to find a way to explain to my mom, because she was saying that maybe I should stop doing this, do it yourself, taking supplements, deciding for myself. And I said, well, it's the same as eating, if you were eating salmon every day, you would be getting omega-3 every day. So it's the same thing. It's just that it's in a pill.
Yeah, we have the chewable I-26, we have the powder I-26, we have the capsule I-26. She can eat eggs. I eat 3 eggs twice a day. Been doing that for 75 years. Soft scrambled in butter, soft boiled, soft poached, not hard boiled, not fried. And because you need the cholesterol, makes up 25% of your brain weight, for goodness sakes, makes 25% of your spinal cord weight. There's, 25 different diseases you can get when you start reducing your cholesterol. This was the biggest mistake the doctors made 100 years ago when they said cholesterol causes blockages in your arteries. No, it was the fried chicken and the fried potatoes and the fried fish is causing the blockages in your arteries, not the cholesterol.
All right. Well, yeah, I'm having a little issue getting products to Italy. They're not they're not easy to get products into. So I would have to literally fly them over
Well,
there
we need to
myself.
check the office because we send a lot of products to Italy. We have a big business in Italy.
You do?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
We're in,
All
we're
right.
in 80 countries, including Italy. And so you need to say, you know, can you give me the email address and telephone number, all that kind of stuff of the warehouse there in Italy.
All right. I'll check with corporate. Thank you.
Yep. Yep.
All right.
Thank you, Dr. Wallach. Okay, we have a question here. An 81-year-old, very active lady I know has had a pacemaker for over 30 years. A new one was put in about 10 years ago. She now has cataracts developing and is told that her high blood pressure may prevent her from getting the cataract surgery. What can Youngevity do? What can Youngevity do for her?
Well, high blood pressure is easy to deal with. Okay, these are 90 essential nutrients, get rid of all the bad food, and healthy blood, you know, you get rid of the all the bad foods, take either the healthy start pack if finances are an issue. If finances are not an issue, take the healthy brain and heart pack. And then for the blood pressure, per 100 pounds of body weight, she wants you to take 3 of the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets twice a day. We're talking 3 words, Ultimate Daily Classic, Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, 3 words. And that will bring the blood pressure down and get blood flowing through blocked arteries in the brain, the heart, the kidneys, the lungs, muscles, every place all over the body, eyes. Okay. And so it's one of those things where we deal with this. These are very simple things, very common things we deal with all the time. We have programs for them. So we don't have to make something up. The programs are already there. They've been there for 10, 12, 15, 20 years, some of them.
Okay, and please, she would like also, could you discuss Huntington's disease and what Youngevity can do for that?
Okay, well, Huntington's disease is kind of a cousin to Parkinson's disease and that sort of stuff. Okay, so she needs to be taking the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. Okay, again, the 90 essential nutrients. I like the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. She also needs to take 3 eggs twice a day with soft yolk, soft boiled, soft poached, soft scrambled butter, not hard boiled, not fried. I also wanted to have 3 servings a day of our I-26. Read the label on I-26. It says provide 1 serving provides 25% of your daily requirement of cholesterol. It freaks everybody out. Well, my doctor says cholesterol is poisonous. What do you mean requirement of cholesterol? Well, 25% of your brain weight is cholesterol. 25% of your spinal cord weight is cholesterol. 95% of estrogen, female hormones, is cholesterol. 95% of male hormones, testosterone, is cholesterol. You do not want to be on cholesterol-lowering drugs. You want to be taking this cholesterol to maintain your brain, spinal cord, good sex life. And it's one of those things where, you know, we have 23 best-selling books. Get the book Epigenetics. It covers a lot of territory, okay? These diseases, and it'll help you understand what these diseases are. And then, of course, we have programs for over 600 different diseases. We have 5,000 products. We have programs for over 600 different diseases. We've been doing this for 75 years. And that's why we're so proud of this book, which just came out a couple of months ago. 75-year track record of my major health discoveries. And then, of course, many more of my health discoveries are in this book. Okay, Epigenetics, the death of genetic disease transmission. And it's an endless process here. And if you don't understand what's going on here, the book Hell's Kitchen is a good place to start, because Hell's Kitchen goes into the transition from wood ashes and coal ashes, which we have been using for 3,000 years, thousands and thousands and thousands of years, our source of minerals, nutritional minerals in our garden and in our food. When we went to electricity at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday, September 4th, 1882, and Thomas Edison pulled that switch, we got electricity. Within 20 years, there was no more wood ashes, no more coal ashes in our diet. And so we're getting all these nutritional mineral deficiency diseases, which doctors said were genetic. They weren't, they were just simple nutritional deficiency diseases. So that's why we came out with the book Hell's Kitchen. Everybody needs to read this book 10 times because it'll freak you out. Okay. It shows you that transition. Okay. And when we went to Bottomland, it's supposed to be the most, you know, nutritious land on earth. It got renewed every year when it would flood, as we call Bottomland. Well, when they put up the dams for hydroelectric, it dammed up the flooding. No more, what should I say? No more bottomland, no more minerals in our food, no more wood ashes. Okay, and so this tells you the transition. Doctors have not paid attention to this transition from our sources of minerals, which we'd had for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, which we no longer have. So you must supplement. You cannot eat well enough to get everything you need. Plants do not make minerals. Plants only make vitamins, amino acids, and fatty acids, which are carbon compounds. Plants do not make minerals. Nutritional minerals do not occur in a uniform blanket around the crust of the earth. They occur in veins like gold and silver. The only way you can guarantee you're going to take all 90 essential nutrients, and including the 60 essential minerals, is to supplement with them every day. And this is all in here. Hell's Kitchen. Okay, so I think that covers the territory.
That's good stuff. Okay, so she wants to know if her cataracts can be reversed.
Maybe. I can't guarantee it. It's possible. Okay, but she's got to do all this stuff. Okay, get rid of the bad stuff. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens. Got to take the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, get that circulation going through the eyes and the brain, and take all this stuff. Take Occutive, take our Vision FX. Okay, I mean, this is, again, it's all in these books. Look up the disease in the books. Don't be lazy. You'll add 25 to 50 healthy years of your life by looking at these books and getting the information from them and following the directions like a cookbook.
Okay, and we have Dave. His hand is raised over here.
Okay, this is got to be the last one. There's only 3 minutes left in the session here.
Okay, Doc, you've mentored me well, so I really don't have any questions, but I do have 2 comments. One for Laura and your mother. If it was me, Laura, I would tell the doctor, Doc, I'm having a problem with my eyes. I can't see you anymore.
Well put.
Thank you. And for Jerry Lewis, I believe my personal opinion, you know, Jerry died in his 6th year of his gag order.
Yes.
I think that's it's not a coincidence. It's very suspicious. They did not want Jerry writing a book about Dr. Wallach's discovery of that, you know, rhesus monkey, and they got rid of Jerry, in my view, in my humble opinion.
Yeah, they purposely got rid of him because they did not want the truth coming out. They really didn't want to find the cure. They wanted to have the income stream continuing.
Exactly.
Okay, and so they put the gag order on him so everybody wouldn't run, you know, and get the cure. Okay, and it's a sad, sad testimony. And of course, in 46 years, he raised $2.6 billion for them, and they threw him under the bus for the money.
Yeah.
Shame on them.
How many years, Doc?
46 years, and he raised
46 years.
And he raised $2.6 billion for them.
Wow.
And they couldn't find a cure because they thought it was genetic. No, it wasn't genetic. It was a simple deficiency disease, which we discovered. And
well, Doc, you told him in 1978?
Yes.
That their model was flawed. So they knew back then they never wanted a cure. They only wanted the money.
That's right.
It's disgusting.
God bless you, Dr. Wallach, and God has blessed you,
yes,
and all of us, because many are called, few are chosen. Doc should have cured the world by now, but only the chosen ones will follow him and hear his message and hear God's message.
Yes, so I'll give God the credit.
God is speaking through God.
Yeah, Dave, I'll give God the credit, and I don't know why he chose me. The dumb foreign boy from Missouri, but I'm going to.
Well, you know, I know why, because you're awesome.
Okay, well, thank you so much. We're going to follow God's rules and save as many as we can.
Bless you, Doc.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. God bless.
I appreciate you so much.
Well, we love you guys. You're a family.
Well, thanks for being on the call again tonight. Thanks for joining us on Wednesday.
We are family.
Absolutely. Take care,
Yes,
Doc.
sir.
Have
Can't
a
wait
nice
till
evening.
next week.
Okay,
Yeah.
bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Good night.